Woza. After Football Fridays, Valana my laptop. Umjaka no Cheez Sebela. Subscribe wena. If you've just joining us for the first time, welcome to the SoccerBeat family. Hit the subscribe button. If you're already a subscriber, you know what it is. Sfunugwazi, are you here with us? Hit that like button. Let us know that you're around. Of course, if you've got a comment, you're going to drop us that comment and share the video with friends and family and friends that are friends to other friends and other neighbors to the neighbor to the other neighbor. Ubatshele, Cheezy, phethu umjaga siphethu Absa Football Friday. Untold story ngiyazi ukuthi usiphathele esishisayo.
Hayi injalo isikhathi sakhona madoda asivale nama-laptop even some of us noma siphethwe ama-flu sitravula senzani hayi i-laptop nathi siyayivala bafethu out of the country all the way in Lesotho. Mamela Football Fridays madoda ziyakhala. Press and like and share the videos madoda. There's a lot coming. Wait for the untold story.
So khuluma ngocoach wadu. Coach wadu ngathi ucasukile. Cheez is not happy about the last 15 minutes against Magesi. Fans are also in that conversation. It's been something, hey, a lot of people talking about that more than about the result. Hey, Cheezy. We're going to hear what Cheezy has to say about that. Soccer Laduma reports that Lupopo coach, Guy Bukasa, was not supposed to be on the bench, Cheezy, because of suspension. Ngathi opportunity la, ama-back donyana, ngathi kuyakhulunywa, but so Cheezy, what you think? Of course, we'll talk about the big game, Cheez. The biggest game in the country, Pirates up against Sundowns. Yes, we know about the Soweto Derby, but we're talking about rivalry here. Teams that are competing for the top spot. These are the two contenders facing each other. I think we're going to close off the year in fine form because both teams are in form, but Cheez is going to let us know which way he swings this time around. He's a former Sundowns player as well, even though he's a passionate Pagania. Cheez, asikhulume ngocoach, asiqale ngocoach Wadu. About to Coach Wadu. Coach Wadu was not happy about the last 15 minutes, Cheez. Ama fans now ayakhuluma.
Look, Chad, I think maybe it's just a concern from the coach because coach also, as coaches have got a way of wanting their teams to play and what they need to give out there on the field, you know. And Name was a bit concerned because, you know, having a 1-0 cushion doesn't really mean that you've won the game, you know. So and then you start dilly-dallying on the ball, dribbling and doing all these other showboating things, you know. And I think as a former European player as well, Europeans, or players that have played there, they don't like showboating. And for us, South Africa, it's more of something that's in our culture where we are leading 2 goals and then we feel like it's time to, to give something to the crowd. And you find that the coach wanted more goals, and I would agree with the coach at a certain point that the goals matter more than the showboating. Yes, score 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe a moment there and there, but also it's just to show respect to the opponents, and also look at how Magesi scored at the last minute. So if it was 1-0 and they had scored at that time, it would have taken the game to extra time, because the game is still not done yet, so I can fully agree with the coach on that in terms of, too early for them to start showboating and doing all these other things on the ball while the scoreboard doesn't really give them that cushion to say the game is over yet.
Coach Wadu even calling it a circus, Cheezy. I know. You can criticize something, but going as far as even calling it a circus, he didn't take it well at all. Is this maybe a reminder to the players to be humble at certain points as well? Yes, you want to show that you dominated the game. That's one thing, but also the humility of knowing it was tough out there.
Yeah, look, I think also like what I mentioned to say, it's also about respecting the opponent as well, because if you called it a circus, in South Africa, we call it showboating, because our fans enjoy and love that, and that's something that we've always had in South African football, but of course, a coach coming, from having played in top leagues, for them, those kind of things feel like you're disrespecting the opponent, and they call it a circus. It happened when we played Tottenham Hotspurs, in Durban with Orlando Pirates. If you remember that game, at a certain point, Abu Keen was starting to kick the players, kicking Abu Chipa, Abu Petrichwala, Abu Sela, because to them it's more of no, you are disrespecting us, you're flipping the ball over your head, shaite and but if it's in our culture, Mjaga, it's something that we also cannot take away because I believe me now, I'll defend to that extent because I'm also a player that, when things are good on the field, I want to make my fans happy because, they know me like that. I don't want to be that two-touch player that, that normal player and I'm just direct. There's times where, you need to stand on that ball and just make sure the opponent also respects that, there's certain players we cannot press, but of course it's a coach learning the culture and trying to understand. Well, I understand because it's in our blood out here, Lentolena, that sometimes players forget themselves. You'd be like, hey, Spola comes in there, is like, guys, it's 2-0, man. Let's just keep possession, But obviously, the way we keep possession is not like how a European player or teams would keep possession. We'd keep possession in a 10 there with headers, Shama Pekili, and that brings the fans alive as well. Guy's captain, like guy's captain, something to take home and say, hey, did you see how we flipped that ball? So it's a 50-50 thing, Mcha. You just need to get the balance right because you also don't want to deny your players to express themselves. Yes, express yourselves going forward and scoring goals.
Something that's very, very South African that you've got for us is the untold story, proudly brought to you by ABSA. That's very South African. I think only in South Africa, only to South Africans this could happen. Cheez's untold story, proudly brought to you by ABSA. Your story matters. Orgaja and Cheez is Pateleni Klivik.
No, Mamela, I wanna take the football fans back. An incident that happened in the change room with former coach Bibu Mutombo. As soon as he arrived at Orlando Pirates, I'm a footballers. They measure coaches. If a coach comes in, you check the style of gear that he's got on. Is he gonna wear a suit? Is he gonna be a tracksuit coach? At training as well. Is he gonna wear soccer boots? Is he gonna wear, running shoes? So Bibu Mutombo comes in, I think his first session. We have Figo coach change room. I mara Figo coach. Coach Ushaya is keeper, Sharpus Palele head coach, and then he's wearing a tracksuit, but it record I want short a tracksuit la papad. Lo muntu uthatha i-Cox mjaka, uthatha i-Cox, makathatha i-Cox, akagcoki isokisi, awushaya i-Cox linjani. Manje phethe amahlanya ke thina ethimini. That time is no Jabu Mashango after joining Orlando Pirates. John, yabona. Mina ngibuya le ethimini ikhosi laphana phela abokhoshi bagqoka kahle, banuka kahle. Ngiyafika lana icoach nayo i-ankle impunga lana. Look at the ankle, athi guy ni-glitches, anina-glycerin, simnikeni i-glycerin uBhili lapho.
Cheez, to more fun news. Something to look forward to is Orlando Pirates. Just when you thought the Champions League dream was dead, Cheez. 30 years was a special year, man, to win it. 30 years after the 95 team. You just spoke to Kevin Lane and Mark Fish. I'm sure it would have been quite the year for Pirates to do it. They got close. Imagine must keep a Laba. Hey, Laba, hey. Hey, Laba, hey. Must keeper. But it looks like Pirates could be reinstated. There's an issue. Soccer Laduma have reported that Lupopo coach Guy Bukasa was not supposed to be on the bench, Cheezy, because of a suspension. There could be potentially an opportunity for Pirates.
Are we talking a Sundowns story that happened when the star came at clock up, or at some stage we were in the bus and we were told, hey, guys, we are back in the Champions League. So it's no surprise, Mta. These things happen. People fail in admin, they miss things. So maybe it's luck for the Paraneas. Maybe the coach was there is like, hey, coach, you must sit on the bench because if things don't go right, at least we have something to fight on, So I'm crossing my fingers that it is like that, and maybe Pirates can sneak in, because yeah, man, I just feel like this team deserves to be there, Mjaka, man. I mean, in fact, the center line supporters, in fact, they can't just be there for the league and the domestic cups. No, they need to travel Africa also and get another star. Like Kevin said, they need to push.
The ghost is working overtime, Cheez. The ghost is working overtime. The ghost is working overtime. bafikile lapha, bafika kulaba baka-CAF lapha, bafika bathi, hey CAF, look in the books there, look. Massive opportunity. I'm sure that's something that makes you feel good as well, Cheese. As you say, the fans are looking forward to hearing about Africa. It's part of Orlando Pirates' story to be in the CAF Champions League.
It's encouraging. It's encouraging also, Mchara. Of course, the fans, it's something that I've always wanted, to get the team into the Champions League. As much as, the team is knocked out and these other things that are happening behind the scenes where the team can be reinstated and back into the CAF. I think if that could happen, it could boost the morale of the players as well, and also boost the fans' confidence in terms of how the team is going to get back there and how the team is gonna work around this CAF game, and hopefully this happens, Mjara. I can't wait to hear what's gonna be the outcome. I think Paris deserve to be still in the Champions League, man. After that season, I just feel like they were really hard done. Of course, a loss is a loss. But if back door, no asuvulen lomnyango mfethu, let the ghost work overtime. Once the ghost works overtime, then ukuthi hayi amaBhakania manje clean isikhokho sami. Very, very important. The CAF Champions League.
And then it's the big one, Cheesy, big weekend, Saturday, 1 November. Yeah, Gagana, Loftus, Orlando Pirates up against Sundowns. Cheez. Kuyakhulunywa ngapha kuthiwa Pirates is unpredictable. Yeah? This side they're saying Sundowns know what to do. They've been doing this for years and years and years.
Mchara, this is a clash that has become one of the biggest clashes in the country, and if you check, I think it's a 50-50 thing because when it comes to the cups, Pirates always have an advantage. It comes to the league, Sundowns has a bit of an advantage there. You say, through the 11 fixtures, Pirates have only won one in the league, which is got a story to tell, so it's gonna be difficult, Mchara. It's never easy playing a team like Sundowns, Mchara. As much as Pirates is on song and and the players are enjoying themselves, they also know that it's gonna be an uphill battle. They have to fight for it, Mchara. They got no choice because at the end of the day, they are playing people that are also gonna be fighting for the honors of actually eventually winning the league. So it starts now to see where they are. I feel like this is gonna be a test for Orlando Pirates when it comes to the league.
1 out of 11, Cheez. 1 out of 11. I mean, even if you don't have to be a statistician to understand that this is only swinging one way here. It's Sundowns who've dominating this fixture.
Miracles do happen, Mjara. Things do change. The weather changes. A lot of things can change. So yes, you can lean on the stats and be like, okay, but 90 minutes of football, anything can happen, anything can change. At any given time. But for me, looking at this game, Mjara, if Pirates win this game, it would be a bonus. But playing away to at Sundowns there, I just feel like even if they get even a point, Mjara, it still keeps them in reach when it comes to the other games of the league because it's still a marathon, Mjara. We're still in the early days, but you don't want them to stretch that gap yet. You want to have them as close as possible. So by giving away 3 points against them, it means in the second leg, you really have to take those 3 points. So if you get a point back in Orlando in the second leg, if you're still doing well with the other games of the league, then you still stand a chance, Mjara. So for me, even if they get a point, I think it will be a good result for them.
I want to ask you what Pirates has to do to win this game. Do you think Sundowns are even thinking about drawing this game, Cheez? I hear a lot of the Pirates fans as well are also saying, even a draw here is good and a win is a cherry on top. Do you think Sundowns is saying a win is a cherry on top?
No, it's lock up on fit. They want to win each and every game. They've built a culture of we need to win each and every game. And it's something that Pirates are also trying to do. As much as the fans, they're just also being realistic, Mchara, because at the end of the day, you have to give respect to a team like Sundowns. Not just playing any other team. So I just feel like Guti, Pirates need to approach this game with caution, but also approach this game as a test for them. Approach this game in a sense of you also want to be in Sundowns' face. You don't want to let Sundowns have possession because if they can approach the game as they approach the second half of the MTN Cup they played earlier, I think they stand a good chance of eventually even winning the match, because the approach in the second half in that game, you could tell there was no more fear. The players were now on other players' faces. They never gave a player like Mokoena an opportunity to be on the ball and spray those passes. They made it difficult for them. If they can make it difficult, try. Yes, Loftus maybe is a little bit big. The difference, at Touchville, you can press. There's not much spaces. So it will be interesting to see how they approach this game when they play in Loftus, whether they're going to press high or a mid-block, try play on the counter. But I'm sure Sundowns is aware as well that if they leave spaces behind, they're going to be vulnerable, because Pirates has got speed, Umjaka, and that's just one thing that might hurt Sundowns coming into this game.
Gqibile Cheez, ubanikile umphako.
Danko.
Mabangawavula ama-laptop manje and get back to their predictions. I look forward to hearing your predictions, SoccerBeat family. In the comments, let us know